And welcome back to City Skylines. My name is Ben and I'm an urban geographer. And took a little bit longer to get this one going, mainly owing to issues with the busway. I had to redraw the entire thing due to the use of anarchy and the bus paths not liking it. But anyway, we're back. This is technically a transition on from part 3 of the building the Metropolitan Centre to the new part, building a rural village, Meadow Heights, and continuing work on the Watson Heights Metropolitan Urban Centre, and starting work on Monaco City Centre, the main city centre. Just got to turn all these off. So basically what's happened and what I've done off camera is the busway is now fully online, and we'll be following that bus round shortly, and the new rural village is online, which I'll drive around in part 2. But because I like first person mode, first stop, the busway. Once we've just dealt with this, we're just going to wait for the busway to get its act together. It's interesting, 21 doesn't usually have biofuels. That's the better one, so this one can disappear. Bye bye. And we'll go to... So yeah, the busway's online. That will terminate in the city centre, and we're also just saying to get a move along with the railroads. So away we go, and there go all the workers that I just fired and then rehired. Might speed that along. Just speed that up a little because I decided to go on a complete go slow. So just oh, it looks like we've got our first office tower up too. Nice. So just some quick sets. The city's now standing at just over 6,500, and we're getting ready to build the second city centre. Traffic's at 71% due to some congestion, mainly around here. But once I open up the second set of off ramps further down near the industry, it should start rectifying itself. So we're just making our way into the Layton city centre before we start our trip on the busway. It is a weekday, so everyone's at work, school, or places they need to be. It's not a weekend. So how I like to build my cities is I use the urban island model. That is, instead of rather than one contiguous sprawl, I usually like to chop the urban area up into urban islands, each acting as a semi independent urban area with their own basic amenities, serviced, if they're not serviced by the city centre, serviced by a metropolitan centre, so that's a high density commercial area. And we're on to the busway. Serviced by a high density commercial and office area with its own civic infrastructure, and these are usually connected up traditionally with me by rail. But with the use of busways and that, we'll be using a bit more of those as well. And it looks like somebody's burned all the trees. So yeah, I use the urban island model and building my building the cities. You'll see that as I develop, although Watson Heights is connected to the main area, but you'll see as the city develops, and you also see in the old city of Monaco that I'll load up later, the urban islands and how they basically play. So basically, between each urban island is either a waterway or green forest or just green space. So we'll just be doing a one-way trip down the busway today. And then I'll get the feeder buses lined up as well. Lots of trees, green city. Yeah, it looks like I've got lots of people catching the bus. It looks like the road maintenance trucks and the taxis whipping through. So the busway used to go to the roundabout, then used to run down the byway that you can see to the right. But now we have the own dedicated busway, which the buses and taxis can now run down. Now I've got to reconnect all the cycling paths up and do a bit of micro detailing, but that will come at a later date. Oh, full house. Definitely a full house. In fact, not everyone's going to be able to get on the bus. So we're moving. Continuing down the busway. Those personal vehicles are not meant to be down. I'll work on that later. So what will happen with the old busways that are still on the byways, the ones to the right have been turned around, but the ones on the other side will be connected to the industry there, and they will service that, feeding into other stations. Oh, we seem to have dropped most of us, so they're going into, obviously, into the civic areas. This stream will finish up at the main bus station, Watson Heights bus station coming up, and then I'll do a second stream of the bus trip returning, and then we'll quickly pop down into Meadow Heights. Alright, we'll see you in part 2.